Okay. Star Trek Communicator and Baofeng two-way radio review, and a desire for the one company to do. Okay, it is that. Here we go, guys. This is going to be great. If the one company can do this, we Trekkies are going to be very happy. Okay, so give me a thumbs up. Please leave your comment on the screen. If you want the Communicator to be what I'm going to say, please give it a thumbs up. Please give it good comments and subscribe to the channel, okay? Hi, everybody. This is Angelo Quinones, founder of I Am Ministries. I Am Ministries is designed to give you biblical answers, accurate and cut. Hi, everybody. This is Angelo Quinones, and welcome to this Baofeng AAAS walkie-talkie or two-way radio review alongside of the Star Trek Communicator. But it's not going to be a review of the old Communicator. It's going to be what is my desire for us Trekkies to have in our hand, okay, by the one company. A new version of the Star Trek Communicator. A new version of it. A better, stronger, faster, that's another show, Communicator, okay? Better than the Bluetooth Communicator that we bought about 8 years ago. Okay, so please subscribe to my channel. Please give me a thumbs up, especially if you want the one company to do this idea so they can know that we're serious about getting a Communicator that works on its own and has all the blows and the whistles, even more than the other, even more than this one had. I say had because the battery, doesn't work. Let's get at it. By way of the walkie-talkie first. This is the Baofeng, Baofang, BF, that's B like in Bible and F like in Fernando, 888, okay, that's 888, S like in Sam, walkie-talkie or two-way radio. It was called a walkie-talkie by the press during World War II, so that's what I'm going to be referring it as, a walkie-talkie. It's only semantics, two-way radio, whatever, different strokes for different folks. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. This walkie-talkie is dynamic, dependable, and durable. And it has a battery, okay? You understand what I mean? That's very easy to get. This walkie-talkie is one of the most popular, affordable, okay, walkie-talkies out there in the market in many, many, many countries. Not only in the Philippines over here, though my home country is way back in the United States of America. That's where I was born. Okay, it's bought all over the world, Europe, Australia. I mean, you see tutorials from all over the globe. Okay, so it's very popular, and if the one company who we love gets it right, they could sell a Communicator like this unit in the millions, and at the same time make a profit, though that's the same thing, okay? And at the same time, on top of that, make us happy. Very much more happier than the Communicator that doesn't even work anymore because of the battery, okay? I'm gonna be speaking about that problem in a second. So what I want in a nutshell, before I get to all the blows and whistles that I want in a new version of the Star Trek Communicator, listen, you can have your Easter eggs and we can hear Mr. Spock and Kirk and Scotty and McCoy and Uhura, and even more, because they forgot Chekhov. Okay, you understand? Nurse Chapel, where's Nurse Chapel at? You know what I mean? Dr. Mabinga, where's he at? Even maybe Lucura, maybe he'll pop her in there so she can scare us half to death. You understand what I'm saying? They can have all that stuff. That's not, you keep that, make it even more. But what I want is a Communicator, not to be bound to my cell phone. It was a nice idea. It's a great idea, and it was a way to show off, basically. But the time of showing off is over. We want, as Trekkies, a actual device that works on its own, just like this walkie-talkie. Okay, you understand what I'm saying?
Power on.
And we love the dear people at the one company. I mean, they're wonderful Trek fans, Trekkie fans, and all that stuff. But they can do it. This is not so big. Okay, you don't need a belt clip. Okay, you don't need a belt clip and stuff like that. But I'm gonna get into that. So this walkie-talkie is one of the great. This Baofeng or Fang, okay, device, walkie-talkie, radio. I don't care what you call it. Is one of the greatest walkie-talkies out there in the world for its price. I mean, you can drop it. I mean, it's not really waterproof, so that's not gonna. That's not. Yeah, it's drizzle proof, but that's about it. But the range. I went on a 2-mile trek. Okay, plus 2 miles and 700 feet. Okay, a mile is about 5,280 feet. This thing, and I put a telescopic antenna, on it. Okay. It extends and everything like that. It's much more better than the antenna that it came with. Okay, I bought 2 walkie-talkies, and it came with these 4-inch SMA antennas. Okay, and this works for about a mile out, and maybe even more if it's a plain side of view. Okay, fine, I get that, but at least a mile with no side of view at all. So this has a great range for its size. It packs a great punch, okay, for its size. Okay, it feels good. It's dependable. I dropped it around 2 times. It keeps on ticking. It has 16 channels. I mean, it has has a flashlight on it. Whatever the case may be. Let me see if I pressed it yet. I pressed it. It's not really great, but I'm not going to get into the pros and the cons of the unit and stuff like that. SOS signals, not really SOS signals, stuff like that. Squelch button, it was squelching me. And the PTT button and stuff and all that stuff, okay? And I got to get into it again because, you could get your own a wristband. This is my own wristband. The belt clip is great. The plastic is great. It's just great. So why can't the One Company, okay, do and even a better version than that? Because this is Star Trek. If the Star Trek One Company, okay, not the Star Trek One Company, but you know what I mean, the One Company that makes Star Trek devices, among other things, if they can make this, why can't they make another version of the Star Trek Communicator to be like that? You understand what I mean? That it works on its own, that has that it'll have a great battery, that's easy to find, lasts for about a normal use more than a day, and regular use are probably 8 hours. This is a very easy battery to buy. Very easy. You could buy these by the dozens in Shopee, by the dozens in Amazon. It's not like the battery that the One Company fitted to this device that you can't even find anymore almost. That's bad. That's bad. The battery is everything. The battery is what gives this thing life. Without the battery, it's useless. I mean, you could lose the door. God forbid, though. It won't be a communicator if you lose the door. You could lose the buttons. This could stop working or whatever the case may be. But if you don't have a battery, it's useless. It's complete, and that's the frustrating part about having a communicator like the Star Trek Bluetooth communicator from the One Company. Listen, it was a great idea, but it didn't last because of the battery. Okay? And it doesn't work on its own. So you want to do everything like Captain Kirk used to do. But Captain Kirk didn't need a cell phone along with the communicator to make the communicator work. This could work on its own if you could turn it into a 2-way radio that has channels. It doesn't have to be a lot of channels. The 16 channels is okay. It's okay with me. That has a new battery that's easy to find in the market, and that could do other things. Well, let's get at the other things very quickly before I run out of space over here on my phone. You understand what I'm saying? And by the way, please subscribe to my channel. Please give me a thumbs up. And please leave your comment on the screen. And please give me a thumbs up so we can let the One Company know that that's what we desire. We desire to carry this on its own, and that the battery is easy to find in the market, that it's easy to replace. And it doesn't have to be a magnetic charger that comes along with this. That doesn't impress me. It could be just a charger like this, that the battery can be extracted from the communicator and you can place it in the charger. That's why I don't care about how it's charging. I don't care if that's glamorous or not, okay? I just care that we get a dependable battery that lasts and that you can find for many years. That's what I want. If you don't do that, well, you can make it AAA batteries right over here. AAA batteries has been around for decades, okay? And it's going to be around for more decades and stuff like that. Okay? You understand what I mean? But I think the Baofeng battery that it uses, I think is very dependable and it's very easy to find anyway, okay? And we're gonna have that communicator for a very long time, and it doesn't matter if you use the communicator or not, because the battery stinks. It's dead. So then the unit is dead. And before I get out of the topic of the battery, which is just awful, okay? I bet you a lot of people bought a whole bunch of boxes of the Star Trek communicator, not willing to open it so that way they could sell it at a higher price in the future. Well, guess what? The battery that they didn't use because they had it, packaged, is dead. It's dead. You have to use the battery. Okay, you have to recharge it in order for it to maintain its life. And let's get at what I want the one company to do. What do I want the one company to do? Well, this is the deal. This could actually be the antenna over here. Okay, so they're going to have to work out what kind of material, okay, will be able to transmit, okay? And then if they can plate it, brass, and get away with the transmission problems, but then they can figure it out. But the antenna could be... Okay, now it could be bigger also. I don't mind that the communicator that they come up with, because maybe they need more size, could be a little larger than the Hero prop. Okay, it could be a half an inch, wider over here, a half an inch plus longer over here. It could be bigger. It could be bigger. That could be that we'll understand that. We as serious Trekkies, we just want a communicator that looks like the actual communicator, but we understand that you have to have this thing over here. That wasn't part of the Hero prop. These legal disclosure or whatever the case may be. These screws over here, that wasn't part of the deal. Okay, T6 screws. You need a T6 screwdriver to open this thing up. That wasn't part of the deal. It wasn't. And some communicators were made of leather or something like that, I think I heard. And this is not made of leather. Okay, so it's not an actual 100% version of the Hero prop, but they took the 3D scans, and so it really looks like it, and it's a great job. Don't get me wrong, it's a great job by the one company. We love the one company. That's not the issue. The issue is that they could do, because they're smart, they could do a communicator that works on its own and make it to be like that walkie-talkie that I have, those walkie-talkies that I have right over there. That's just the deal. I want a communicator that when I open it up, okay, I don't need it to be connected to my phone. Okay? But my phone has apps and stuff like that, and how are we going to do that? Well, I'm going to get into it. But the first thing I want to talk about is that this could be the actual antenna. Now, on the show, it was the actual antenna. Okay? That made this thing reach the Enterprise. You know what I mean? So that, they're smart. They can solve that problem. I'm not going to solve it right over here. How they're going to make a door to be the actual, antenna, because you're going to have to need an antenna. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to need it. All right. Or you can have an antenna slip out of here for more range in the back over here, right in the middle, or whatever the case may be, or whatever. If it's bigger, then it can do that. But if this could get a range of 2 miles just with this, that'd be wonderful. I'm telling you, if the one company comes up with a communicator like a two-way radio, to be a two-way radio, I will use this and drop, okay, with a capital T, and drop this amazing unit that you see right over there. But since I'm a Trekkie, I'll use this if it was a two-way radio rather than that. You understand? Yes, I will drop that instantly. Because why? Because I'm a Trekkie and I want people to see this. Like that. All right, so the antenna problem, okay, fine. So what's the deal? Well, how is the communicator going to work like a walkie-talkie? We'll just use the same, and even put more options. You could have these two buttons be joysticks. Now, there's only one joystick button over here and one tap button over there. But listen, you're going to have a lot of options on the table with channels and stuff like that. And one of these things is going to be the PTT button, the push to talk button, and then the squelch button, and then whatever the case may be. You understand what I mean? So make the new version of the Star Trek Communicator have a 2 joystick functionality. You understand what I mean? Not only 1, but 2. Okay? Now, so you could do that. And you can have your Easter eggs and Mr. Spock and Kick, and that's nice. And that's wonderful, but even have more than just like 14 or 15, prompts. I mean, that's too little. Have like, 50 to 100 and stuff like that, or whatever the chip can carry. They're smarter than me. I can't make this stuff. I mean, you put 100 of them in there. I mean, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I mean, the Star Trek tricorder that they're working on, I don't know if it came out yet. I don't see it on Amazon. Okay, maybe it's on their website. Or the onecompany.com. You understand what I mean? Maybe they have it out already. That was going to happen before Christmas. But that has all of Kirk's log entries. So, I mean, you can have, a whole bunch of, you understand what I'm saying, discussions on the communicator that this didn't have as the, in the Bluetooth version of it all. You can even have more, spice it up more. Okay, so this could be the walkie-talkie antenna. This could be, instead of one joystick, a 2. And so you could do a lot more things. Okay? All right, and you can figure that out, what it can do. The lights work fine. I like the idea of when it's charging but the thing is, like this, when you
Power on.
okay, when you talk, push the PTT button, okay, the light turns on. This color. Now when somebody calls you, it turns another color. Okay? You understand what I mean? So one of those lights there, one of these crystals, okay, can do that. Can be like whatever, red when you're calling and green when you receive a call from the other walkie-talkie. You understand what I mean? The middle one could be an emergency, just like the Klingon thing. Remember the Kang and all that other stuff was kidnapping Kirk, and then he pressed the button over here, and so one of these buttons can actually send out a emergency beep that your friends would know that is only going to be used in an emergency. Listen, I'm only going to use this beep in an emergency, so if you hear it, if you know where I'm at, call the cops. Okay? Because that's an emergency. We're not going to play around with it or nothing like that all the time or whatever the case may be. That's going to be the designation. When you see that light or on your end of the deal and that noise, call the police because I'm in trouble. I mean, stuff like that. You know what I mean? And the lights, you can figure out, what can you do with the lights? To me, it's not drastically important, but you can do a lot of stuff with it. The SOS is not going to work. It's worthless on this, the SOS. Okay, I mean, the SOS button is just I mean, it doesn't do anything, the SOS. I mean, turn the light over here. So it's a, the light is about a 1 or a 2, review. It's nothing to glorify this unit about. That's not the strength of the unit. And if you press it again, that's not an SOS signal. That's like a strobe light. That's not an SOS signal at all. Okay? That's not. But I mean, but you don't need that in the Star Trek Communicator, okay? You don't need that. Okay? It could be like every time you could program it that every time you lift up the PTT button, I don't know which one they're going to designate as the PTT button. When you lift it up, it'll give a signal to the receiver. So we figured out that the door, the antenna, instead of one joystick, 2 joysticks, so you can have more functionality, because I want this to be able to extract. That's the key. Now you can have 2 versions of this thing, the Moray. You can have that the Moray behind it all has a motor, and it's just like this. Okay? But you're going to need more room behind it, and I'm worried about that the battery won't be able to fit. Okay? But if you have, and so you can work it out and it can fit, it could be fine. Like I said, the communicator could be a little bit more larger, and I'm not going to sneeze over it. Okay, I don't care about that. I care about the functionality, not as if it's a half an inch bigger. If it's a half an inch bigger, that's good. It'll stay in my hand. Okay, I won't drop it probably. You understand what I'm saying? You understand? But this could be two. This could have two versions of it. Okay, one could be the way it is. Okay. Okay, and two, it could be another communicator, or it could be this could be able. This could be able. You could take this out, and then you can place another in that is like a watch. Now remember, this was like a watch anyway. In the old days, this behind this was like a watch. Okay, so you're not I'm not breaking any ground. I'm just giving you an idea what this could be instead of just going around and around and around, and you can't use any apps because it wasn't so advanced like it was. Okay, the Star Trek Communicator. Okay, when it came out, they didn't have the idea, the hero version of it all of apps. Okay, now they could say, well, the main function of the communicator was to contact the Enterprise to beam me aboard and stuff like that. Okay, fine, they could get away with that stuff. We know better, but that's just the deal. Okay, you understand? Another type of device could be screwed in here. This could be extracted, and another device could be screwed in here that would act like a watch, cell phone watch. That's where you get the moire. You still keep the integrity of the moire. Okay? Unfortunately, it doesn't work because of the battery, but that's just a deal. But since, they have watches around that are cell phones. So why not have this unit be able to have a cell phone watch type okay, device that could be screwed in here? You could take this out and screw it in there, or it could just come with it like that. Forget about screwing it in and out and buying this and buying that. Forget about that. That's even worse. Let this be like your cell phone watch piece that the one company already fitted in here, and it can work to show the moire and all that stuff. You understand what I'm saying? And even much more clearer and better. Because it'll be like in the cell phone watch, it'll be part of a cell phone watch. You understand what I'm saying? It'll be much more glorious to look at if you could play around. You can have different versions of it, like a tinted view like this one, a much more brighter view, moire. If you push a button, one of these joysticks, you understand what I'm saying? So you can have different versions of the moire by having this be a cell phone watch that will solve the issue of you not having any apps. Okay, I sound like Kirk. You understand what I mean? Is that a good idea or not? You can't get better than that. Now, to me, you could do two things. Okay? You can have this whole square piece right here be the watch. But you're not going to be able to feel. I know some people will complain because then you're getting really to like the Star Trek Communicator is kind of changing its shape. Okay, fine. I'll head off that complaint by scrapping that idea that the whole square here, indented square area, could be just a cell phone watch piece, the glass. Okay, all right, fine. Unless it has the buttons over here, but then you can't feel the buttons. It'll just be a glass with the imaginary crystals, and that will look better anyway, but you can't feel them. And this round piece, you can't feel it because everything is going to be a piece of glass. Okay, fine. So get that out. If that's not good, it depends on what the people want, and get it out. Have this actual piece feel like the piece, but do much more, okay, than it did before. It will actually be a cell phone watch. Or if not a cell phone watch, at least you can have a display displaying different pieces of information, like your channel. There you go. Now this can talk also, so you don't need a visual aid to let you know what channel you're on. Now this talks. Okay.
Power on. 10.
This doesn't have any visual assistance.
11. 12. 14, 15, 16.
Now this has a Vox control. By using some of its channel features, okay, you can, hold down this button and hold this button and turn it on, and then it's gonna be in Chinese mode or in English mode, or it's gonna, you can have a Vox in it, voice activating system, which is great, but then you have to just wait about a couple of seconds because it doesn't activate and hear your voice right away. Now I don't know if I'm gonna run out of room, so I hope you guys like the review. Okay, I'm gonna put it, if it runs out, it runs out. I mean, it's hard to do two things. It's hard to do another review that's going to be like this one. Hopefully this is coming out. And, I love my fellow Star Trek brothers. Okay. And we go way back. Some of us to the 1960s, but some of us just to I heard I had the Star Trek Communicator. You know those communicators that came out for kids around 1974 or whatever the case may be. I got it for Christmas from my school, actually. They were giving out presents and stuff like that up to $20, and I remember asking for the Star Trek Communicator. So I go way back using walkie-talkies, okay? Two-way radios, the 1970s, the 80s, the 90s. I'm 59 years old. I sound young, but I'm 59. I use CBs. I was trained in school how to use these things properly. Okay, you understand what I mean? This is a great unit. It really is. I mean, this is powerful. This is powerful stuff for its price. That's the thing, for its price range. Okay, and the range is amazing for its size. It's just an amazing unit. But when I'm using it, I say, man, if only the one company, which is our only hope. Now we're entering into Star Wars. Okay, you understand? Yeah, help us, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're the only hope. Okay, the only hope. To the dear people of one company, you're our only hope, okay, with a strong P, to get this right. To forget the idea of using the hideous battery that this has, that this contains. There's only one tutorial on YouTube that I can find that will actually teach you how to extract the battery, okay? And he couldn't even find the actual battery, so he had to solder two wires together. I mean, come on, guys, that's hellfire torture. Why put us Trekkies through such misery? But if you can turn this or redesign it, it's not even going chink, 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 guys. Turn it into this. It's like a fairy tale. It's like Cinderella. It's just like the pumpkin and all that stuff. You understand what I'm saying, guys? I want that kind of device in my hand. I need the need for speed. I need the Star Trek Communicator to be like that, guys, not to stay like this. Not for the one company to give up. After doing the tricorder, and actually, I don't know how many of they're going to do of those. They want to make a profit, by the way. You understand what I'm saying? If you do it right, you can sell this in the millions. In the millions. Because the two-way radio fab is coming back. It really is. It really is popular. I mean, not that, but this is a popular unit. And I saw a tutorial that a guy in the United States, and this is from China, was gonna buy dozens of these, dozens for his family, for emergency purposes and stuff like that, and whatever the case may be. Who is gonna buy dozens of these? Who are gonna buy dozens of these? Nobody. Nobody's not even buying these. That's a shame. Look at the detail. Look at the work. Okay. It's like the Hebrew cough, you know what I'm saying? The Greek kappa, who's going to buy this? Look at the work that went into the detail, the wonderful structure, the curves, the milks, the crannies. Look at this, and it's a waste. But if they revisit it, guys, I know I'm talking a lot, but I want that. That, okay? I want that. Or I want this to be like that. In my hand. I need for the Communicator to work on its own and to have a better battery that will last. That's what I want, guys. Do you want what I want? So tell the company. Write them. Bother them. Wake them up in the middle of the morning. I heard on YouTube that this guy was saying that maybe the one company should make a Star Trek, not Bluetooth communicator, but a Star Trek Communicator Radio. Okay, if you want to call it communicator radio, okay, walkie-talkie doesn't roll on the tongue, go ahead. But just be careful because they might think it's an FM radio. Okay, that's why I don't use radio in my tutorials when I'm doing reviews on the walkie-talkie. Okay. All right, so 2 joystick functionality buttons. Okay, that will cover a multitude of sins. That means so you can have more options to play with and stuff like that. Keep the idea of the speaker. The speaker is great. If you can have a little bit more better technology, because this was done 8 years ago, and you have a better way of doing it, then use it. But the way it is good. The material is good. Stay with the material. It's good. Give us some Velcro options and stuff like that. You know, sell some Velcro. Sell some. What do you call it? Sell some accessories with it. That's a way to make money on the side. You know, like the antenna that this has. It's not from the unit. It's not from the box. Okay? What came in the box for the Baofeng units and, 2 walkie-talkies came in the box were these 4-inch antennas, which work great. They work, up to a mile. And maybe up to 2 miles if plain side of view, but at least a mile. And a mile's a mile. Okay? A mile's a mile. But this works. I mean, you could probably get 5 miles out of this. I got 2 miles. I didn't want to walk anymore. I walked 11,300 feet. Okay, this the way it is. You can't on its own. It won't get you a foot because it needs a cell phone. I don't want that. I don't want that anymore. I don't want this to be dependent on the cell phone. That wasn't the way of the show. This wasn't hooked up to the tricorder so it can work. This worked on its own. So if you didn't have the tricorder, if the tricorder blew up like it did in the television show Arena, okay, being overheated by the Gorns, you understand what I'm saying, and using it as a bomb, this still works. I didn't need anything to hook up on it. The tricorder needed the enterprise computers to work, and you saw that on the City on the Edge of Forever. It's dependent on the ship's computers. This wasn't dependent on nothing. It didn't depend on anything. As I destroy my English here in the Philippines, you understand what I'm saying? All right, so this could be actually a watch piece that the one company will screw in here. You understand what I'm saying? Because that could save you space in the back for the battery if you don't need anything mechanical behind this piece over here. You can make a piece, screw here on the top, okay? All right? And it can have a moray on it. It can have some goodies on it from Star Trek. It can have your emblem there, your Star Trek emblem from the shirt. It can have the battery life. You get your battery life there. Now, this doesn't have that, and it works great. It just tells you battery low. Now, it can have something like that, battery low. The Star Trek Communicator did that. So that's why you can employ that if you want. But you can have your channel selections there that doesn't appear there. So you can make it better than this. Woo people out of that by saying, whoa, I mean, this has an actual screen on it. It has this has a cell phone watch type look. Okay? And you can go to Google, maybe. You can go to Google on it, and you can hear it from here. And you can press your apps. It could be a touch screen. A little bit more money, but so what? You can actually, instead of this plastic thing over here, you can have a touch screen because it will be an actual watch. But it's fitted to the communicator. It's not going to be on your wrist, but it's going to be on the communicator, giving the communicator more options. You could download things, okay? You could hear your music. That's how you could hear your music, because somebody said, well, yeah, I used to listen to music on my Bluetooth device. How am I going to get music? By adding the watch, by putting the watch unit here, instead of having this that's just doing the moray routine. This is one-dimensional. Have a piece that you can screw here that will actually be a cell phone watch. So if you want to use this as a cell phone, you can do it. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? I mean, over here in the Philippines, they have cell phone watches for 1,000 pesos, only $20. So the price shouldn't be much more greater. Now I know that the people work here for a mere bag of shells. I understand that, and you can't compare the Philippines with the United States of America. That you have to pay somebody maybe $10 an hour or so, whatever it is. You understand what I'm saying? I understand that, but I mean, you're selling the tricorder for about $300 now, whatever it is. I wouldn't even mind buying a communicator that could do all that for that price, but try not to keep it to that range. Try to keep it in the hundreds. This was 150 or something, 160 when I bought it. And it didn't have all the blows and whistles that I'm talking about, but the watch device that could be screwed on here, I think is a great idea. I think it could give more functionality to the communicator. You could be online. You can Google things. You can watch something there. You can actually watch something there. I know it's around, but so what? You can actually watch something there, like a YouTube show or whatever the case may be. So it could actually be better than the communicator. So you actually have something. Let's face it. Is the one company phaser or any other phaser that came out in recorded history better than the phaser of the Star Trek show? No. If it was made into a water gun, at least it'll shoot. Okay, it'll shoot something. There are no phasers that shoot anything. Is it actually better than the Star Trek phaser? No. Is the tricorder as good as it is the one company is doing it? Is it better than the one on the show? No. But we can actually have something that could be actually equal or greater than the actual show version I'm talking about. Not the prop, but the show version of what they used on the show, how they used it on the show. If you get it to be the way I want it to be, actually for the first time ever, you'll have a Star Trek device that's actually better than its counterpart on the show I'm talking about. Not than the prop, because the prop was a piece of garbage. Okay? It didn't do anything. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? The phasers that were invented, as good as the remote control was, it didn't shoot. You can't stun a roach with it. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, you understand? Huh? But if you get it to be like the way I want, okay, two joystick functionality, maybe a better speaker, emergency, an emergency light or something like that, or a signal going the other way, a squelch control, and that's why you need probably the two joystick functionality instead of one, and one tap. That's just not going to cut it, I think. You understand what I'm saying? But it'll be an actual walkie-talkie. And that's greater than this, because just and then the battery. I already went through that. You can at least find the battery on Amazon or on Shopee over here. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? So it's so much more better, and you'll make millions. Millions. I mean, I'm telling you right now, if the one company came out with that, I think I will buy 12 of these. I'm not these, but you know what I mean, of the new versions that I'm talking about. I'll buy 12 of them. I'll buy more than 10. I'll tell you that. I might buy 20 of these. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? It will sell. The person won't just say, "Oh, let me just get one." No, if you can afford it, if the price is right, that's the problem. That's the coup de grace. That's the key. If the price is right, people are gonna buy it by the dozens, and you can make your money off it like that. And if you sell your accessories, I mean, you can sell maybe if you could fit an antenna in it. If it needs an antenna, you can make some Star Trek antennas and stuff like that. I wouldn't mind that. You don't have to have it on. It could be an option if you want to, use a SMA antenna and call it a Star Trek antenna or whatever, and fit it to the new device. The new device being much more, not much more, but a little bit more broader, that it could take an antenna like that and stuff like that. The device could be bigger. The device could be bigger. Like I said, it's not a 100% copy anyway. Okay, it is almost. It's like 99.9%. But then, the old Star Trek Hero Communicator didn't have the screws and didn't have this legal disclosure and stuff like that. Okay, yeah, we don't care about that. But I think that the idea of the cell phone watch being the display here, fitted right into the communicator, is actually ingenious. And actually, okay, the screen should last, because those things last anyway. And if they don't last, maybe you can have an option to replace it to buy it again. Okay, but that I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. And you could rob Peter to pay Paul. I mean, if you buy dozens of these, and then the battery's good and stuff like that. If they like the particular one that they're using because they spiced it up and stuff like that, you could rob Peter to pay Paul. You could unscrew the watch from another Star Trek walkie-talkie and place it on the one that they like to use. Okay? So, I'm just saying. Okay? Now, where will be the PTT buttons and stuff, the PTT buttons, stuff like that? Not on the side. No, right over there. Now, how about using this area right here, which is the biggest area, okay, for your, or the side, right over here, something like that. That's why I say it might have to be bigger. But maybe you could get away with it right over here for your USB port hole, right here. So you could charge it like that. I don't need this to be charged wirelessly. I mean, wirelessly. I don't need that. That's a gimmick. I don't need that because I don't have anything wireless charging over here, and I'm surviving, guys. You understand what I'm saying? Everything is wired over here in my house. Everything except for my Bluetooth headphones and stuff like that. You understand what I'm saying? I don't need that. You can put it right over here. It's not gonna bother me. Like I said. These things are not original. They don't bother me. So why is it going to bother us Trek fans, Star Trek fans, if they have a USB port right over here or on the side somehow? I don't know how you're going to do that because it's just it's not really that wide over there. But I mean, like I said, it could be a little bit more taller, and that could cover a multitude of sins. You understand what I'm saying? So that could be your idea there. Have a USB port somewhere there. Okay. Now you can have the little slot here. It doesn't have to be the big one. The little slot, obviously, So let me just correct myself. You can have a little slot in there, okay? And use don't use the older ones. Let me just put this down for a second, okay? Use a wire like this. The wires nowadays, I don't know what they're called, okay? But use these. Don't use the one that has those two little tiny dots. I'm sorry that I'm not really telling you the actual term that's used for these things. Let me put the communicator down here. Why did the flashlight turn off? I don't understand. Why did it turn off like that? Wait for a second, guys. Sorry about that. I don't know why that's the case. I mean, that's not good. Okay, it gives me light over there. Use this one. Now, you'll know what I'm talking about, you guys that know this more than me. Use a charging cable like this because it's much more durable, much more stronger than the other ones that had those two little dots and stuff like that. Don't use those two little dot things. I mean, that's old stuff. And those don't last too long. Use something like this. Okay, I wish I knew the name of it, but you'll know it more than me by looking at it. Just use something like that. Use something like that, okay? And then let me just put, and excuse me for this, guys, okay? And let me just, you could use that, and there's a couple of pieces that could go along with it, okay? That you could buy on your own, or maybe the one company might get in the business of granting us accessories. Okay, that's how you make your money, by accessories also. You could fit this into those two things. Okay, that could be the charger. I don't need a wireless charger, and that'll have the emblem on Star Trek, and that's just more time consuming. Also, they could just concentrate, as I put this aside, on the communicator. Just concentrate on the communicator. That's all I want. Okay. Forget about the charger and giving us a charger and this and that and all that. I don't even need all that stuff. It'll be even more money. Okay, and a big box and stuff like that. No, just have the Star Trek communicator come in a nice little tiny box. Okay, just like the Baofeng unit. The Baofeng unit didn't come in a special box. Okay, it just came inside a plastic box. And I didn't say, oh my God, well, the Star Trek company had a wonderful box that I still have, by the way. I still have it. Okay? And just didn't, no, you just was excited of getting these things out of the box. And so will it be with this. You could put this in a plastic box and who cares? Okay? As long as it's well protected and stuff like that, now it will save you time. Now you can have two different versions of it, the one with the carrying case or the one without it. Now they like to do carrying cases and stuff like that. Special cases. Okay, so I mean if they want to do that, they want to spend time on that. Okay, fine. So but make sure that you spend your time on the communicator and doing it the way I said, because I think that could be such a great thing to have. Okay, I know this tutorial was long. I understand that. The antenna could be the actual. This is not the actual antenna of anything. But if you want to turn this into a walkie-talkie, you're going to have an antenna. And that's where you can have, for the first time ever, okay, the Star Trek Communicator having the door to actually work the way it did on the show. This could be a better version. The cell phone watch fitted to the communicator could be an actual better version of this thing. Improved version of this. Just a motor, the Moray. Okay, fine, but it doesn't do anything. This is 2025. Okay. Not only I want this to act like a walkie-talkie, or to be a walkie-talkie, to actually be a walkie-talkie, but I want the option, if I'm not going to carry my cell phone, to actually go online on the screen over here. If that's possible. I don't know if it's possible for them. It's possible for them, but they're going to have to up the price. I don't know. Maybe they'll see, in their talks and their meetings and stuff like that. But it's a great idea because you can actually change the colors of the Moray. You can have some information on the screen. You can see some YouTube channels. You can see Star Trek here. Okay, you understand? Or, I don't know. You can actually see Kirk. I don't know if they could do that because of the rights and stuff like that. Actually, use the communicator or whatever the case may be, or I don't know. But you could do a lot of stuff with a screen. The possibilities are endless. So this will be cooler. The lights, I don't know what they're going to do on that. To me, different strokes for different folks. I don't know. I don't have any ideas on that. The colors are fine. The crystals are there. It doesn't have to be glass. It could be plastic. Could be the thing that could remain here. It doesn't make a difference to me. The 2 joystick functionality, the better speaker, or just the same speaker. It works. And the slot for your battery, for your communicator, for your battery, for the battery of the communicator to be charged. And it could be, since it's just a small slot and not the big one that I was talking about, could be on the side or it could be right there. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? If you want to spice up the range. Okay, you might want to have, okay, you understand what I'm saying? An option for a sort of, you might have to have a slot here, okay, for a antenna, but the antenna probably it can't be like that round piece over there. It's going to have to be some sort of a flatter antenna, like the T1 walkie-talkie antennas, like that. You can actually put a T1 antenna here, T1 walkie-talkie antenna, because it's small. Okay, you can actually have it like sticking out right in the middle there. It won't bother anybody. It is small. Or just have this, but that won't be extra range though. Too much. So you could have this popping up there, and this could be, and then you could boost it. You can have some power buttons on the side. Okay, you can have a switch over here. Okay, or one of the buttons can do it. That you'll have your low battery switch option, or your amplified volume or amplified antenna boost options, or whatever the case may be. You can spice this up. You can spice this up. You can spice up this to be better than that, okay? Then the where is it? Then the AAAS. The AAAS is not a spiced up, visually enhanced unit anyway. It doesn't have any screens. It doesn't have anything like that. But yet it's so popular because of the price and because of the dependability of it, and because of the durability of it. Also, the 3Ds, because of the dynamic way of it that is powerful, the durability and the dependability. The durability is it that the plastic is great and the battery lasts for a long time, for several hours, and then the dependability that this thing could take a drop and it'll, and that's the thing about making this into a cell phone watch. But cell phone watches, they fall all the time, and cell phones, and they still take a they take a licking and keeps on ticking. You understand what I'm saying? So, that's up to them to see, how much the new communicator can take a fall. And if it's going to be waterproof and IP rating and stuff like that. Whatever the case may be, that's other things that they can talk and have chats in their meetings and stuff about. And not everybody. I don't expect this to be the walkie-talkie. Okay. That the battery is going to last for 4 days, that it could go through sand, and it could be submerged in water. I don't expect this to be the Cobra. Now you're getting into two-way radios that are really expensive. I just want it to be, okay, like Mike. Okay, I want it to be just like this. That's all. This is good enough for me. The range is great. That's the thing about this unit, that the range for its size, man, it packs a punch. And I already went through my tutorials giving you the ultimate range test of that unit. And man, it passed through flying colors. And if this could be, I'm not going to say half, but if this could be exactly like that, well, I mean, this is going to be the ultimate. This is going to be the great, that will be, not this, but that, because this is not that, that will be the greatest communicator ever invented. I hope I didn't miss any ideas or anything like that. And maybe if I come up with some ideas what the watch can do, what the watch can contain. And the one company, I'll leave it to the one company because they have some great ideas, some voice prompts and stuff like that. And maybe some different, we only got like one or two different beeps for the communicator. Okay, I mean, so you can have several options. There are many, many, many styles of the beep on the TOS. Okay, on the original Star Trek series, they have a multitude, an array of selections of beeps. It's not only two. Like or you can have the one that tomorrow's are yesterday's, when Sulu opened it up and it was a very long version of it and stuff like that. You can have more voices that have to do with the communicators. They just had a couple of voices. I mean, this thing only has like about 13, 14, 15, 16 voice prompts. That's nothing. It's just a handful. I mean, you get tired of them. You get tired of them. You know what I mean? Why not have like a couple of hundred or stuff like that from the show? I mean, they already worked on the tricorder, and you have hundreds. I would say, right? You have, or at least 100. I don't know, but anyway, I'll say hundreds anyway. You have dozens. How about dozens? You have dozens, and maybe even 100 of the log entries of Kirk. Hundreds of them. So why not work like that and give us hundreds of options of the sounds of the communicator, and then you can program them. They'll be fun to program, and then you could go on the